right, Jared Goff made an admission about Sean McVay and Dan Campbell. Let's talk about it. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Check out the Detroit Lions playlist for more videos like this. I think I might do a Lions lot of that. Depends on how I feel. A little fun fact: did you know that Sean McVay actually beat Calvin Johnson out for Georgia Mr. Football? Georgia Mr. Football. That's wild. I think a lot of people know that, but Jared Goff says meathead Dan Campbell knows football as well as Sean McVay. Reading from Detroit Sports Nation, said ever since Dan Campbell had his introductory press conference with the Detroit Lions, plenty of national media members and plenty of others referred to the Lions' new head coach as a meathead. During a recent interview with Michael Silver, Lions' new quarterback Jared Goff commented on people saying Campbell was a meathead, and while doing so, he compared his new head coach to his old head coach and Sean McVay without even saying his name. He's he's a really smart meathead if he is. Goff said he knows ball as well as anyone I've been around. He can speak it, and he know it, and he can talk it. Okay. So Michael Silver tweeted, I hung out with Lions quarterback at Jared Goff recently in Birmingham, Michigan, on people saying head coach Dan Campbell was a meathead. And he repeated the tweet I said. And I mean, is time gonna tell? Matt Patricia was a rocket scientist. That's a fact. He was a rocket scientist. All right. What else you gotta say? I mean, people think. I remember somebody said, "Well, he wasn't even a coordinator." Somebody said that, like he wasn't even, he wasn't even a coordinator. I'm like, okay, and that is true. But John Harbaugh, he was a special teams coordinator. You don't have to be a coordinator to be a successful head coach. Okay, you don't have to be a coordinator. That's a fact. That's a fact. You don't have to be a coordinator. It's about people management, time management. Okay, it's about that type of management, managing people and social. You can be smart. Most smart and geniuses are social misfits. All right, that's a fact. Most of them are social misfits. Okay, some of them are social misfits. That's just the fact of the matter of what we dealing with. What we dealing with is Patricia was a social misfit. He was smart, but he didn't know how to have guys run through a wall for him. Okay, he didn't know how to have guys run through a wall for him, how to socially connect with them, and that's his biggest problem. Personally, Dan Campbell can socially fit in with guys. We gonna see. We're gonna see if he can socially fit in with guys. And if he can't, I mean, it's gonna be the same as Matt Patricia. But that's what it's about. It's not about X's and O's. It's what you got fucking coordinators for. It's about managing coordinators, managing the game plan. Okay, you tell them like, okay, Jimmy John, whatever, Jimmy Chan, whoever the defensive coordinator. You tell them, you know what, we want to run the ball. It's at least 50% this week. Okay, what's the game plan? You put the game plan together. Tell special teams coordinator, we want to be a little bit aggressive on with special teams. We want to, put extra people in there and go for blocks and not returns, and want to be more aggressive. You tell them go put aggressive game plan together. You go to the offensive coordinator, Day. You go to him and tell him, you know what, or defensive coordinator, whatever you want. You go to the coordinators, and then after they put the game plans together, you go over the game plans. You say, you know what, I want to tweak this, I want to tweak that, I want to tweak boo, 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 boo. And remember, every call that comes through the headsets, he got to be approved for him damn near. To right, all right, fourth, 30 inches, we call in twins right, bootleg, delay flat to the tight end. Dan Campbell said, no, we want to run the ball. Give me some run plays. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, we going to go QB sneak to get the first down. Bet. It's going to run with. So it's not about knowing X's and O's per se. It's about managing game plans, managing people, and then also he got to put the head coaches got to put the schedule together for the month. All right, they got to put the for the week, the what time we leaving, when we flying out. Can we go to? We having a West Coast trip? If the ownership gonna let us go out there Monday, things of that nature. Then you gotta deal with issues with people, but it's tough. People just think it's excellent. It's management. It's been plenty of guys, Romeo Crennel, Charlie Rice, Josh McDaniels, that know X's and O's. But guess what? They fail because there's a social connection that you got to have, and there's a in the management. It's like being a supervisor, managing people. Okay, just because you manage the offensive side of the you manage the offensive coordinator or offensive side of the ball. You know, as a head coach, you got to be able to manage defensive players and know how they think and stuff of that nature. So, you know, that's what people got to understand. Just because you a head coach don't mean you got no X's and O's. You know, good enough to be an offensive coordinator. You know, what it boiled down to is knowing X's and O's, good enough and good enough to manage game plans. So, you know, football just as good as Sean McVay. He played at a higher level than Sean McVay. People talking about guys that, I remember boxing, they was talking about, well, why the trainer can't teach him how to do this because he knocked them out. It's not true. You know, a lot of the piss poor coaches and football player, boxers, and basketball player have been great head coach. Where the fuck did Nick Nurse play at? Where Dwayne Casey play? He did play in Kentucky though. You know, and he played overseas or in another league. So it's my opinion on that. But yeah, I believe X's and O's just as good as Sean McVay. Why wouldn't he? You know, he played in different offenses, and also as an awesome player, you got to understand defense. You know, especially if you're talking about blocking schemes and, bare front, 4-6 board fronts and 4-3 overs, 3-4. You know, you got to understand that. You know, I remember Deion Sanders was just on the show with Chad Johnson and them on YouTube, what it's called, Brandon Marshall and them. And they would assume that he was a defensive coach, a defensive coordinator. He said, no, I'm an offensive guy. Because you got to understand both sides of the ball. You got to understand. You know, if they playing a cover 3, you got to understand if it's an option route. If we sitting down in the zone or in man coverage, we breaking out, or in a certain zone or another type of man coverage, bracket coverage, we breaking in. That's how football players know. Quarterbacks know where to go to the ball. Coverage dictates where you go to the ball. If it's man coverage, you know what I'm saying? It's straight up man. And they blitzing. Where you going with the basketball? You're not gonna throw your number one route is not gonna be a fly route. Straight up man coverage with pressure coming. You looking for the hots. You looking for the flash, the swing routes, the wheel routes. You looking for the slants. You looking for the hots, the quick routes. Now if you pick up the blitz, you know what I'm saying? You feel confident picking up blitz, then you can do a little bit something different. If you man with cover 2 shell or man with 2 man under with two deep, you got 2 deep safeties. Guess what? You might, if you in a regular, whatever, let's say you in a 2 tight end single back, you know what I'm saying, with 2 receivers, 1 back, you might want to, they playing deep, you're going to run the ball, because guess what? If they playing the deep half of the field, guess what? You got 4 down linemen, or however you want to say it, 4 down linemen, 3 linebackers, and then the corners are out wide. So, why would I throw it, in this situation, unless it's a known passing down? I'm going to run the ball. Now, if the safeties creep up, in that shield, and they start to creep up, to stop the run, or they drop a safety in the box, they play single high, guess what? Now, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to either play action, drop back, probably tell the tight end to run the post, on a single high, had a safety bite on the post, and maybe had a receiver to my right do a comeback or do a fly. So coverage dictates where quarterbacks go with the ball. That's how you figure out if it's a Tampa 2, you know what I'm saying? Is the soft spot is between the linebacker and the 2 safeties. They running, they playing the flats. So you might want to have somebody do a dig route or sit on the comeback route. So this is very, very interesting. But of course he probably knows football more than Sean McVay. He played at a higher level. He got the job. And sometimes football ain't rocket science. Sometimes it's just simply, it's simple. They come with blitz packages. Let's find a way to pick up blitzes. Let's find a way to run against the blitz. Because guess what? If somebody blitzing and bringing everybody to the line, and you successfully got a hat on the hat, and you got a running back that can make somebody miss and break tackle, that's what it's gonna be a touchdown. It's gonna be a touchdown. Just because they show blitz don't mean you got to pass. You got to run. You ain't got to run the ball. Because once you get past that first line of defense, he going to the house. So sometimes football is simple. If they like the blitz, let's find run plays and passes that's going to work. They like to play coverage. Guess what? We're going to have to figure out a way to run the ball, play action. We're going to have to find a way to zone busters. You know what I'm saying? And them digs and drags and anything that's crossing. Anything that's crossing, you can make confusion. Fuck with bust up coverages. You know, making them, making them take a step to the run game. That's busting coverage. That's what coverage is about. Play action and miscommunication and misdirection and crossing routes. You have these drags and these shallows or these double crossing routes, and that confuses the coverage. That's what it's about. And then if you have a mobile quarterback, that's even better. They got to respect to the running game. But yeah, I can believe Dan Campbell. Football is just as good as Sean McVay. But sometimes it just got to be basics. Sometimes it's just basic. Sometimes it ain't rocket science. Sometimes what we want to do is run the ball. We want them to game plan and run the ball. And then we're going to throw over their head. Baby, football is very simple. It's not very complex. I think the complexity of football, just the X's and O's, are significantly simpler than dealing with the personalities. You got somebody that went to BYU who's a Mormon. You got somebody that came in from the third ward of Houston. You got somebody that's from Highland Park, Texas, that's been rich. You got to put 10 or 11 or 20, 22, 30 of them, plus coaches, 35 of them, and you got to make it work. That's hard. You talking about 20, 21, 22, 23, 24-year-old kids. That, in maturity, going to say, oh, I fucked up. I should have did this. It's hard. But I can believe that. But it's simple. It's nothing complex about football. Football is a game. It's not even a game of complexity. It's a game of you being prepared, you having the right game plan, and most importantly, you able to make the adjustments. That's what it's 11 on 11. How hard is that? You take care of your man. I take care of my man, and we find a way. It's not hard. It's not hard. If they playing cover 2, gotta be prepared for that. If they like to play 3. They like to play combination cover, zone up front, man. Who knows? It's not a hard sport. But hey, let me know what you guys think. I probably can believe that, but hey, let me know what you guys think. Don't forget me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Reach out if you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request, all our social media links in the description. Twitter's the fastest way, then Facebook, then Instagram. All the links there. Facebook group link there as well too. Want to make a financial donation? Cash App, CJ313. That's in the description. PayPal link there as well too. Best way to donate. Share video one time. Let me know what you think in the comment section, peeps.